Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be like a combination of my 1 week postpartum update along with Gabriel's 1 week old update. So first things first is I am 1 week and 2 days postpartum, so that would make Gabriel 1 week and 2 days. He's here right now, he's just breastfeeding currently. So whenever he's done, I will show you his little cute face. But yeah, like I said, it's gonna be like a combination of both. So first I'll go over everything with Gabriel that's occurred within the last week, and then I'll go over the update for myself. The first thing that I wanna mention is that Gabriel was not born jaundice and my daughter was. And I just assumed that he would be born jaundice as well, because that's basically what the doctors had told us all along, that since, you know, his sibling was born jaundice, that he would be as well. And that was not the case. We were released from the hospital, I think, a day after I gave birth. And yeah, I think so. And that was awesome. I was so relieved that he didn't have jaundice, because I thought for sure that he would, because Emmeline did. But that's the first thing, so that was awesome. And if you guys are familiar with what jaundice is, the symptoms of having jaundice as a newborn, they sleep pretty much 24/7. And that was my daughter. She literally slept like 24/7 whenever we brought her home, and I would have to wake her up in order to feed her. Whereas with a non-jaundice baby, they wake up on their own and they want to eat every hour, every 2 hours, etc. Well, with our daughter, she just would sleep all day and all night if I let her. So it's been definitely different this time, being that I'm breastfeeding, because I didn't get to breastfeed with her, and I am exclusively breastfeeding with him, and the whole jaundice thing, because this experience with him is completely different than with my daughter, because like I said, she slept all the time. So he is so alert and just awake and looks at me and looks all over the room. It's very different. The second thing that's been going on with him is he's had baby acne, and my firstborn had that as well. She had the baby acne on her cheeks and stuff, and that's completely normal. And since she had it, I kind of just assumed that he would too. And I know it's extremely common among newborns, but he's definitely had that, and he has it like around his eyes and on his cheeks. But since he's breastfeeding now, I can't show you, but whenever he's done, I'll show you his face, and the camera might be able to pick it up. Along with the baby acne, he's had some peeling skin. Like his whole body has basically been peely, like almost as if he's had a sunburn, and the skin, that first layer, is just peeling away. And that was kind of a shock, because my daughter didn't have that. And for him to have such peely skin, I was like, is this normal? And Gabriel already had his I think it's like a 2-day follow-up appointment after being released from the hospital, and they said that was completely fine, and I could put baby oil on him. And just know, like, I could use baby oil, but I can't use coconut oil, just in case he has an allergy to that. And they don't recommend like any lotions that are scented and stuff, so we've kind of just been sticking to the oil, and that seems to help. And his umbilical cord has fallen off, but we haven't bathed him yet, just because his skin is so dry. I don't want to bathe him and have it be worse, you know. I don't want to make his skin worse than it already is. So I'm kind of just waiting until his skin gets better, and then we can bathe him. Now that his umbilical cord's off, we can bathe him, like fully submerge him. And his hair is a little greasy just from not having a bath, so if anything, I'll just wash his hair and maybe wipe down his face, but I'm not going to wash his body, since that's what's mostly peely. And I had already mentioned that I am exclusively breastfeeding, which has been amazing, because My first pregnancy, I did not get to. And I don't know if it had something to do with my daughter being tongue-tied, because she is, and Gabriel is not. And she's probably tongue-tied because I am. So I know that children who are tongue-tied have a more difficult time breastfeeding. It's not impossible, but they have a more difficult time. So with my daughter, it was just, she just could not latch, and it was just, I saw lactation consultants and it just wasn't working out. She just couldn't do it. And so I finally threw in the towel and we started formula. And I pumped for like the first 3 months of her life. So she did have my breast milk. We just didn't get like the whole bonding experience of the whole breastfeeding thing. But she did have my milk for about 3 months, I believe. And then my supply just started dwindling, and then therefore we supplemented with formula. So she was a formula fed baby. And now that I've had my son, it's such a different experience because he's able to breastfeed, and he's been able to since day one. He hasn't had any issues. He's latched on so great. He is just, it's so good. And the only thing is, I feel bad for my husband because since I am exclusively breastfeeding, I obviously get to bond with our son a little bit more than he does, because, you know, when he's hungry or anything, it's me that he needs. And with our daughter, he could help me feed her because she was, you know, bottle fed. And that's the only difference. And I'm not like, I am pumping right now and I am storing my breast milk. So I'm not opposed to giving him the bottle. It's just that I want him to be very used to, you know, breastfeeding, and I don't want him to prefer a bottle instead. So that's like my biggest fear, is if I give him a bottle of my breast milk now, I'm scared that he won't take the boob later. And so that just terrifies me. So I am storing my breast milk, so I am pumping and just storing that in the freezer for a rainy day. But right now, exclusively breastfeeding is what I'm doing. His sleep schedule is sort of all over the place, which as normal newborns their schedules are just so erratic. And like I said, with my daughter, it was just so different because she did sleep all the time. And this time with him, it's just not like that. I feel like he's more awake than he is asleep. So since he's awake more often, or that's at least what it seems to me, it's been harder for me to do things, you know, such as like getting things done around the house, or, you know, playing with Emmeline as much as I'm used to, because he's just more alert. And it's just been a completely different experience. It's hard to explain because my newborns were just so different, but I feel like he sleeps more during the day than he does at night. So during the nighttime, I definitely don't sleep as much as I would like to, but for the most part, he does well. He's not a fussy baby. He doesn't just scream bloody murder if he wants something, and he's just quiet and alert. And he does eat nonstop. He eats about every hour unless he's sleeping. So that's definitely been different for me, because I'm like, oh my gosh, he just ate, I gotta feed him again. But it's been really great that I've actually gotten to breastfeed this time, and I've been enjoying every second. Gabriel also enjoys being swaddled, and that's also new to me because Emmeline did not like being swaddled. She hated every part of the blanket being wrapped around her. She would fight to get out. Even if we tried swaddling her with her arms out of the swaddle, she still hated it. She just did not want anything to do with that blanket. And she was the type of baby who would just have a blanket like on her, but she didn't want to be wrapped up in one. So the difference is crazy, because if he's, you know, laying down or something, or I'm laying him in a swing or his bassinet to take a nap, he doesn't want to nap unless he is swaddled. So that's been new, having to swaddle him, because I don't know, if you have more than one kid, you sort of just assume that they're kind of gonna be the same. And that's just not true. They're just complete opposites. And that's pretty much it for the update on Gabriel. He is just, oh, one more thing actually is whenever I went for his 2-day follow-up appointment, he had lost a little bit of weight, which they said was normal. He was born at 8 pounds 2 ounces, and when I went to his appointment, he was 7 pounds at 13 or 14 ounces. So he had lost a little bit of weight, but at that particular time, my milk had not come in yet, and it is now. So the doctor had said that once my milk came in, that would change drastically and that he would continue just to gain weight because the colostrum isn't as hearty as your milk is. So that's pretty much it with Gabriel. And now I'll move on to updating you guys with me. Like I said, I'm 1 week and 2 days postpartum, and I actually feel really good. I had such a bad experience my first pregnancy because I tore so bad, and I had a really bad 2nd-degree tear the first time around. This time I did tear during birth, but it was just like a surface tear where I needed maybe 1 or 2 stitches. And I honestly haven't had any pain from that whatsoever. The first couple days that I was home, I was just more uncomfortable than hurting, and like sitting in a certain position would just kind of be uncomfortable for me, and like standing up from a sitting position was also uncomfortable, but it wasn't like I was in pain. So that I just had felt like I had a baby, which I did. So that's the only drawback I've really had. Other than that, I've honestly felt really good. I've had some slight back pain, but I just think that that's, you know, because I just gave birth a week ago, and, you know, I'm carrying him around with me, and I don't know, just nothing significant enough to where I feel like complaining about it. But yeah, the first couple of days it just felt like uncomfortable because I felt like I had pushed out a kid. I did weigh myself this morning, and I have dropped 17 pounds since giving birth to Gabriel. So that's been awesome. I gained 23 or 24 pounds during this pregnancy. So I have lost almost all of my baby weights, and I couldn't be more excited about that because my first pregnancy, you guys know, I gained 60 pounds, and it took me a long time to even lose that amount of weight. And this time around, I stayed consistent and healthy with the gym and eating right. So that definitely played a big role in that. So I'm down 17 pounds. I have started back on my diet, if you will. So I've done that, and I've also started some light walking this week, and nothing crazy. I'm not going to the gym, but we do, my husband and I and the kids will go around the neighborhood, and I'll put Gabriel in the carrier and Emmeline in the stroller, and we'll just go walking for about 20 to 30 minutes. And I feel good during the walk. I don't feel like I'm doing too much, and I don't feel like I'm in pain when we get back. So I'm just going to keep slowly, you know, adding exercise back in. I haven't been, you know, approved to start working out or anything yet, which will come at my 6-week doctor's appointment. And I don't plan on going to the gym until probably after that appointment, unless I feel absolutely amazing before then and feel like I can go. But for now, I'm just gonna start walking and just getting out of the house that way, because I'm kind of cooped up in here more than I was, because I don't want to take, you know, a 1-week-old out in public just yet. So I'm keeping him indoors unless we go walking just around the neighborhood, but I have started that light exercise just recently. I do still have some bleeding, nothing significant, but I do still have to wear the pads that the hospital gave me, some pads, and then I bought just some like super pads to wear, or super absorbent, whatever they're called. And so I am still wearing those. I am having some bleeding, but it seems like it's diminishing, so that's always good. It's not heavy bleeding or anything like it was whenever I first gave birth, but I am still wearing my granny panties with my pads. And that's really it with my update as well. I don't really have much to update you guys on just yet. I am going to show you what my belly looks like 1 week postpartum, and then I'll show you little Gabriel because now he's done eating. This is Gabriel. I don't know if you guys can see him. Hey, baby. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick up his little peelies and his little baby acne, but you're still so cute. But yeah, I don't think the camera's picking it up, but he does have that baby acne on his cheeks and around his eyes. But he's my big boy. He's in a little swaddle blanket right now because it's cold here in Florida, but I'm gonna set him down and then I'll show you guys what my belly looks like 1 week postpartum. Okay, so here's my 1 week postpartum belly. To the side. So I'm still a little puffy here and my belly button is starting to shrink, but not too bad. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this update and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.